Da 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 da! What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. Let's give YouTube a couple of minutes, get those notifications out, let people know I've gone live. In the meantime, if you've never popped into one of my lives before, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside, and I show up here fresh like a loaf of bread, not always having a heavy, not always having a moment where we have to be on a topic that it is so pertinent, like the world is going to end in the next few minutes unless we digest this, unless we choke this down. I've come to realize, in the past few years especially, that I have been treating myself like a little bit of a workhorse, and that is the truth. And I love to accomplish. You guys, you hear me talk about it, how it makes me feel good about myself, where it makes me feel like I'm moving forward, that I'm accomplishing. It's a good feeling for me. But in that good feeling, I know it does come at a cost. Just the fact that, I suffer with Charlie horses on a Sunday night after working on all weekend, that I'm wearing myself down, treating myself like I'm a 20-year-old still, when I know quite well that I'm not going to be able to keep that elasticity about myself forever. And that's a truth. But I do try. And, I do take advantage sometimes of that idea that, I'm grateful that I have good health, right? And for me, sometimes those are the indicators for me of my age, right? I don't have children. I don't have grandchildren. I don't have a husband who's in need of being taken care of in the moment. And, these are things that reflect back in our lives that tell us how old we are. Those aches and pains, right? Those thoughts that we periodically have about slowing down, even though we don't slow down. But we think about it, don't we? Because we know better, right? Lots of times. I was talking a little bit about knowing better and knowing, right, exactly what we're supposed to be doing, right? We have those answers. It's just a matter of taking the action and the incentives on those answers that are just sometimes so plain to see. And yet, right, we dig our heels in like somebody's taking us to the dentist. I'm just using that as an analogy. I'm not afraid you cat of the dentist itself. I probably would prefer not to be at the dentist, but if I have to be there, I have to be there. There is not too many things out there that I struggle in pushing myself to. Is it accomplish? Or maybe is it just step forwarding in, I have a problem with the ask, for having the doors shut down on the ask throughout my entire life. It's kind of made me a little bit resilient. It has made me a little bit independent. It's kind of me taking the reins of my own life and going, fine, I'll do it myself, right? And finding again in the accomplishing and how it makes me feel, that it makes me want to become even more independent. My sisters and my coworkers and my customers, I talk about this trip that I've been taking every fall for decades now, probably 20 years consistently anyway now. And I go off on these road trips, camping trips. They're usually camping because I like to connect with Mother Nature. I like to take in the scenery of, well, that reminder of I'm a part of this world, that organically I am a part of this world, and I have every right to seek out and appreciate the world that I surround myself with. But like I said, my sisters, friends, right, co-workers, they do think I'm bonkers that I take off by myself. But the idea is that I do give of myself. I'm a caregiver. I'm a caregiver too. Understanding, right, that I don't really have to understand what those other parts are doing. But if I am stepping to the plate, right, I suspect those other parts of me are taking advantage of the opportunity and stepping to the plate and doing their thing, doing their work at the same time. I feel good about what I do because I feel like I'm accomplishing. But at the same time, I recognize that it calls for me to be a little bit accountable to myself, responsible to myself, a little bit more upfront, right? To come to the surface in a way that others might not come to the surface. I'm called I'm called to do that, right? If I had my way, I'd be laying on the couch with the remote control. I would be laying on the couch with the remote control again. I'm just using that as an analogy. I don't even have a TV, but I would be involved in that movement that each one of us gets to choose to contribute in themselves if they choose to, right? But if you don't choose to, well, that's your choice, right? I made so many bad choices in my life. But each one of those bad choices that I thought were bad choices in the moment, right? Being thrown into a mess or being thrown into an experience I had never had before, throwing myself into problems that I had to hurry and scurry and try and figure out and resolve. Those all offered up lessons for me. 100, 100% in the experience of the hurry scurry and the resolving the issues or doing better by myself or doing better by somebody else. That in that is the practice, right? And it's in that practice, it's in that repetitiveness that we finally get a little bit better at that, whatever that is, right? For me, I don't know, maybe it was my YouTube channel, and in that desperation of just no matter what, just keeping my brand going, like it was my lifeline. And what just came to my mind right now was a old black and white movie. I really loved this movie. I'd seen it a few times, and I think it was called The Leaf. And it was this little girl who was bedridden, and all she could do was stare out the window, and fall was coming, and the trees were losing their leaves. And she had this idea when the last leaf on the tree fell to the ground that it would be her last day, right, on the earth. I don't know why that movie came to my mind, but maybe it was in the kindness of a neighbor who, right, he himself climbed the tree, and on the wall that matched up with the branches of the tree, he just painted a leaf. And it looked like one last leaf clinging to the tree. And in the morning, they had found him. He had fallen from the tree and passed away. But the little girl made it to spring because that leaf never fell to the ground. Why am I telling that story? That's curious for me because I hadn't thought of that movie in years and years, but it was a great movie. Maybe it was in that idea of never giving up, right? Maybe that leaf was the stick with the bag at the end, right? The gift, the reward, the incentive to just keep going, right? She made it to spring, right? She did. She never gave up, and it's the strangest things that's in our lives that make us want to stick around for the next curtain to rise, right? That's true for me too. I'm going on a trip in less than a week. I'm winding down in what I need to get done to make sure that everything goes as smoothly as I can possibly in the creation of this trip that I created for myself. Right? I created it for myself. I created it, right? And if it all falls apart, well, I guess that's on me. But I am so certain and optimistic, right? Confident that we are going to have the most amazing holiday that I have put together in all of the 20 years that I have been doing this. I'm still going off by myself, right? But it's a little bit more colorful, a little bit more dazzle and amaze, a few more landscapes, right? New interests and hobbies because I'm always growing, right? These interests and hobbies that I have now, 10 years ago, right? The connection with Mother Nature, I would have appreciated, but the hobbies in themselves, I don't know. I was always a little bit of a rock hound, but that love for the rocks and the understanding of the crystals and the way I wrap around my road trips and my holidays around my new interests in rock hounding crystals, I find it very curious. I do, right? Because these are new aspects of myself, no less the part of me than when they weren't a part of me, but at same time, I'm always growing. I'm always changing. And, I'm looking forward to being 80 years old, not at any time soon, but when I'm 80 years old and look back at some of this content that I created and the person that I was in this moment, I bet you I'll shake my head, right? Because I won't even recognize the person that I am now. Because I'm always growing, I'm always creating in the best human being I possibly can. Hello, Melvin. Don't say that. I'm supposed to be trying to train myself into going to bed early and getting up early, and I am, right? I'm not doing a very good job on that. Maybe I'll be forced just into this good sleeping habits. I learn habits pretty quickly if I set my mind to it. If my body is exhausted, right? It always lets me know when it's time to go to bed. So I'm not going to worry too much that I am up so late, right? But it's in that appreciation, right? I am very appreciative of this platform that I get to show up and close down my day or start my day or come in midway through my day and be able to connect and to be able to share an experience, a conversation, right? An adventure or just a thought, right? Sometimes it's just showing up and somebody else takes over in that conversation. Well, that's usually on Sunday nights, right? Here during the week, well, the topics are a little bit heavier, the eyes and the ears, a little bit rare in its showing up, right? But all it takes is one to show up, and you never know, right? And like I said, it's in that unwind for me, right? In shutting down my day that I know that I've properly tied up all the loose ends, pleasantly pleased with what I've got accomplishing, knowing that I am one day closer to hitting the road. One day closer. Oh my goodness, less than a week and I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks and I'm just looking at my cat all curled up in bed knowing that I'm going to be disrupting her life for a couple of weeks. But she likes my sister and she settles pretty quickly. And you give her a treat, more than likely you're going to find yourself a best friend pretty quickly. Okay. Sometimes I just have to have an afternoon nap. I will be 75 on the 18th. Are you kidding me? Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Melvin. And you're still working, eh? Oh my goodness. I'm not sure if I want to be working at 75 years old. Think I'd like to be doing some road trips, some exploring, some adventuring, right? A little bit more applied to my brand, showing up a little bit more. I'd like this probably. Yeah, I guess I'll still be working. I'll still be working too, Melvin. It was a thought for about 15 seconds until the realization happened. Oh, yeah, I'm at this till the end. Oh, my goodness. Happy birthday, Melvin. Happy birthday. That's so amazing. Come in Sunday and let us properly celebrate with you. I'm only going to pop in Sunday for maybe a half an hour or so at my regular time because people will be checking to see if I'm going to show up. But I'm going to be packing and definitely trying to go to bed early that night because I'm going to be up bright and early, ready to hit the road. And I would like to be on the move by noon. But I think probably it'll be around 1 o'clock before I finally hit the road. And then I'm going to have 6 or 7 hour drive till I hit my first destination, you guys. First few days will be driving days, and I will be on the road, right? Trying to get into the area that I'd like to be in and taking in the views and trying not to rush, knowing that there's a roof over my head each and every night, right? I'd like to experience each day, right? If only in the content, right? In the filming, in the lessons. Yeah, so I was at it again today. So I'm looking at doing my final little list. I still have my technical, my electronics that I have to get all charged and sorted to make sure that I have all my cords and everything that I need for the trip. I have my last grocery list to finish for the few things that I need before I hit the road. Um, yeah, there are a few and a few cleaning projects. I'll have one more load of laundry, but I'll save that to the end of the week. And I'll just do one load and I'm packed. I don't have to do anything else. I tried to take some out of my bag, but I don't know if I packed well or if I'm just stubborn in what I want to bring. But that's done too. You guys, we're ready to go. It's just a waiting game, but you know me, I'm going to keep myself busy in it. And being busy in it will only make the holiday even better than what it's going to be. 100%. Oh my goodness, I've been saying 100% like every 5 minutes all day long. And even if it was just to myself. You guys, that's my good cheer. I'm just popping in this week to say hi, right? To stay connected, right? So you guys can be a part of this excitement for me because it is excitement, right? It's a little bit of nervous excitement, right? There's a lot of, right, fun excitement in this, right? In that planning. There's lots of worry in that too, because what if I forget something? Right? What if something happens and right, I don't make it to my first site? And like the dominoes that this could easily be, right? It only takes one mishap to put a wrench into the system and then right the dominoes start going and there's no catching up. 100%. What? Oh my goodness. We're not going to say 100% tomorrow. I don't know where I picked that up today. I have no idea. I picked up somewheres. You guys, I'm going to finish my coffee. My eyes are closing on me, right? But we got stuff done. I'm feeling good about today. I'm feeling good about my week. I have one more day off. Going to try and get a few of those little underneath cleaning projects done. Maybe go outside a little bit, spend a little bit of time outside, a little bit of time with my cat. I have no idea, but I'll let you know what I've done tomorrow when I show up. You guys have a great night. Bye bye. Thanks, Melvin, for popping in.